Blog Talk Radio.
You are now listening to the most talked about blog talk radio station in the universe. Walking His Ways, Impact Voice Radio. Be prepared to have your mind stimulated, your spirit elevated in ways you couldn't even imagine. Introducing your host and the mastermind behind this unforgettable experience, Furman Jackson Jr. You will not be disappointed. Let's go!
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Walking His Ways, Impact Voice. I'm your host, Furman Jackson Jr., broadcast to you live once again from my hometown of Mobile, Alabama. I thank everybody for taking time out of their busy schedule to be a part of the broadcast. I'm enjoying doing the new time with her starting off in the AM. Something positive, something motivating, something to inspire you. Hope everybody's having a great Saturday, of course. Whether you at work, whether you cleaning up, whether you just having your time alone with the Most High. I thank y'all for tuning in and taking time out of your busy schedule. But I'm excited about this week's broadcast. I'm doing something dealing with couples. I love to see people that's married. They're not ashamed to say they're married. They showcase their marriage, and I love that. And especially in this generation, because we got so many people who glorify adultery. You got men who act like they single, you got women who act like they single, but they married. But I love a couple that's not ashamed of being married. They're not ashamed of each other. Hey, they're living to their vows. Even though there's ups and downs in marriage, but people they're willing to grind it out, put in the work, and it takes work in everything you do when it comes to a relationship. I remember my dad told me a long time ago, that relationship is like a plant. You have to feed, water that plant for it to grow. That's how a relationship is. You have to work. You have to feed it. You have to nourish it. You have to get the proper nutrition you need for it to grow, to be successful. If not, it's going to wither away and die. So it takes two willing people to make a marriage work, not just a marriage, but a relationship of all costs. So I'm finna to bring in this lovely couple who's doing great things, for their marriage, for their children lives, and many other lives. So I'm going to introduce my guest, and I want to say welcome, Campbell family, to Walking His Ways Impact Voice.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank y'all for taking time out of our busy schedule to be a part of today's broadcast. And like I said earlier, I really respect married couples. I'm a single man, but I respect married couples. I respect that you're not ashamed of each other. Y'all showcase yourself on social media, and I respect that. And we better really keep this interview off this morning. So my first question is, when did you both meet each other?
You want to take this back?
No, you go ahead on this one.
Okay, so a lot of people don't believe us when we tell them, but me and Wayne actually met online. We met on Black People Meet 6 years ago.
It's crazy. But yeah, that's what we met at.
Never know how y'all hooked up.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That
we never really discussed that, but it's crazy.
That was but like you never know how God will bring you together. That He uses any avenue to bring forth His glory. So my next question is for you, Wayne. How do you know your wife was the one?
Well, actually, coming out of a previous marriage, because we were both married before, it's just certain qualities that you'll look for in a woman that that you need. And when you have kids involved, you look for particular things that women do with their kids. And with me, it's just big to just see a woman that carries herself well, that know how to handle her kids. And that's just what did it for me. And, and then down the line, you start building more and more of a bond as you become friends. And then after a while, you just know. You just look at them and just know.
And that's awesome. I know the Bible speaks that when a man finds a wife, finds a good thing, and also obtains favor. Because I know, and I was looking at your bio, I know you credited your wife, for the things that, you transpired with to where you at today. And I love that, giving her recognition. Right. And my next question, same thing for you, Ray. How did you know your husband was the one?
to be honest with you, I didn't like Wayne at all. But then I started realizing that I was worth what it was that my husband was trying to show me. Like you said, we were both in previous marriages that didn't work out, and I didn't realize that what my husband was showing me as far as being the head of the household was what was supposed to be happening, because in my previous marriage, I was the head of the household. You know, I took care of everything. So it was really, really hard for me to accept what it was that he was trying to show me as far as being married. And I just want to say thank you to him for that.
Man, that's good. And I know y'all both into the business where you're entrepreneurs, you're CEOs of your respective brands. And I know lately, I know there's a lot of married couples are in the business world together. They're making generational wealth. How did that all come about? I know you have a podcast, and I know Wayne, you have a lot of other brands going on. I know including the music industry. So how did that all come about, also?
Well, it really came. It's crazy. Like with me, I'm always thinking of ways. Ever since I was a little bitty boy, I always think of ways to make money, ways to build wealth. Because I talk to my wife about it all the time about building wealth for our kids. And in the black community, we don't teach our kids how to build wealth. Right. You know, we wait for them to get through 12th grade, and when we put them out, don't show them how to, get their credit. We don't show them how to handle a bank account, all that type of stuff. So, my wife, anybody that know my wife know that she likes to talk about anything that comes to her mind. And I was dabbing into the podcasting and the radio world, and so I was like, I'm gonna set her up with a podcast. And man, I mean, when we set her up with it, it just took off because she knows so many people. With her being prior military, and she's from Atlanta, and a lot of the celebrities that we all see as celebrities now are like her friends growing up, And then with me, I was always into the music industry. Where I was with a group called Mobillionaires a long time ago, and I said once I ever get enough money, I wanted to make my own company. Well, it's just to show artists how to monetize their music and just make money off their music and not get robbed by the industry. And then we also jumped into the credit restore, and now we're into the lending. So we're just trying to build infrastructure.
And that's good. And like I said, 'cause I know that's been going on lately in this time that, couples coming together, they're building generational wealth for their family. Because the Bible speaks that a good man leaves a heritage for his children. And I know that's very important. You said something about the music industry. I know there's people saying that about also teaching minorities, us, the business side of the music industry. So with the music industry, explain to those who may be musically listening right now, Wayne, how can they get involved in the music industry?
But the main thing you want to do is, if you listen to any artist these days, they always say, "Hey, I sign myself to myself," which they are actually correct. The first thing you want to do is you want to make sure your paperwork is in order. You want to get you a LLC or brand your name. Next, you want to sign yourself up for a writer association. It could be either ASCAP or BMI. I deal with ASCAP. I've been dealing with for over 15 years, 20 years now. Man, it's crazy. 20 years now. So, everybody think that you just go in and you just record a song and that's it. It's a whole lot to it. You want to try to build you a solid infrastructure, paperwork-wise. Then you get to recording. In the music industry, 85% of it is business. The rest is your talent. And that's what people fail to realize. That's the reason why when you hear people on the radio, you be like, oh, my God, that sounds horrible. But their business is so together that they can make money off their horrible music. So, I mean, if anybody have any questions, you can always reach me at majorstreetmusic@yahoo.com, and I can give you all the info you need and counsel you along the way.
And that's good because wisdom takes you a long way in life, passing on that wealth of knowledge to someone who's hungry, determined to be successful, so they won't get robbed by the industry. Because we know that major labels do rob a lot of the artists because they're not educated on the business side of things, and that's good that you being a willing vessel to it. Invest in someone who wants to make it big in the music industry. And this is my question for you, Ray. How do you get started in the podcast world?
Like Wayne said, I recently retired from the Air Force, and just a lot of people came to me for advice. And so Wayne was messing around on the podcast thing, and I decided to record one of my just one of the things that came to my mind and put it on the podcast, and it blew up, and people all across the world were messaging me about when is the next episode, and what are you going to talk about next? And I had no idea what my next venture was going to be, but now it's life coaching and motivational speaking.
And that's good. Like I said, you always counseling, ministering, starting to people's lives. And what about it? You better to be creative with it and just talk about things that people think about, but they don't bring it up until somebody actually brings it up. Like, wow, I'm glad my friends have brought that up because that's something I'll be dealing with, and that's good that you're doing that. And my last and final question, like I was talking about earlier, I respect married couples. I respect couples who not ashamed of their marriage. And I respect the man who's a married man. Cause I know when I looked at your bio, you said devoted husband. And I'm glad to see a black man say that, devoted husband. But we don't see a lot of black men say that. They want to, it's crazy, but what makes y'all marriage successful in this generation?
Well, I'm going to start with this one. I believe the respect level. And, a lot of times in relationship, it's to the point now where everybody just feel like that once people start getting back to roles and just knowing, hey, this is this and this is that. Even when my wife said, he been the head of the house, that type of stuff. To most people, ain't no head of the house. Ain't tell me what to do. Sometimes you have to just step back and be like, you know what, my wife was right. You know what, my husband was right. Just respect and just a mutual love for each other to make it work. What you think, Ray?
I agree. And communication as well. And you have to have God at the center of your relationship, because if you don't have him, whenever you do go through those trials and tribulations, you don't have anybody to be in your corner to help you all pull through, and like you said, with the whole respect and communication, those two things go hand in hand. Me and Wayne talk about everything, even if it's going to be something that might get on his nerves, or I don't know how he's going to feel about it, and vice versa. You have to communicate, and you have to look at things from each other's perspective. You have to put yourself in the other person's shoes to see how they could possibly view something. And with that's honestly how we make it work.
Just being real with each other, main thing, being real and putting in work. I think I've seen a post where a guy says, he was talking about his wife. He said, my wife is not my girl. She's my best friend. And when he said that, because he said he's open to her. Like, you should be able to cry in front of your wife. Men, be able to cry in front of your wife, be open with your wife. And I love when he said, that's not my girl, that's my best friend. So what would you tell someone, what advice would you give someone who's, hey, I want to get married, I'm looking for my wife, I'm looking for my husband. What advice would you give them? Since y'all there, what advice would you give them that's looking to be married?
Well, I'm going to let Ray give the woman advice, and I do the guy. You go first.
Okay. So I would say first, do some self-reflection, because a lot of people go into relationships and have expectations of what the other person should bring to the relationship. But sometimes you have to do some self-reflection as to what it is that you are going to bring to the relationship. And then, then you go as far as, okay, you don't just cut somebody off because they don't meet your standards. I do hear a lot of women, because of, my podcast, they're like, how do you deal with this or how do you deal with that? You just cannot put those unrealistic expectations on people, and you aren't meeting that same mark, if that makes sense. So I would say first do some self-reflection before embarking on a relationship.
And I would tell the guy, just make sure that you're mentally ready. And I say mental meaning at the end of the day, if your household fails, it's because of you. Your wife can be on crack, alcoholic, whatever. They're going to say, man, it's bad such and such lost their family and house, and he could have done this, could have done that. You have to be mentally prepared for anything that comes about. You need to sit back and see where you're at financially. A lot of marriages fail due to finance, unfortunately. They say do good and bad, sickness and health, but at the end of the day, you need to try to produce for your family, because it's solely the man's responsibility to make sure that his family is at as comfortable state as possible. Mm-hmm. And if you feel that you're barely taking care of yourself, and you more focused on going to get the new J's out instead of getting your business in order, you're probably not ready right now. So I tell a lot of guys, love is what you need to have. Communication is great, but with a man, he has to have the mindset of, hey, I need to get these extra hours this week, or hey, I need to grind a little bit harder to make sure that my family's straight. It's a lot that comes in play with the man. So if he's not mentally ready, if he's still a little boy himself, that's not going to work for a marriage.
Yeah, and I totally agree with that, because I see a lot of guys nowadays, they have children with women, but they'll tell you, well, I'm not ready to be married yet, and that's really bad.
Right.
Per se, and just like you said, that mentality, it's more responsibility on the man compared to the woman. Now, if you look all through the Bible, he said if a man to provide for himself, especially for his own household, he worked than an infidel. He was targeting the man on that. That great responsibility that we got to carry on, and being ready. I know y'all see y'all into the financial arena also, and I know finances are important. I know you had brought up earlier that, especially in the black community, we don't think about that. Our mindset being, well, work a job for 30-some years, retire, you live a good life. We have to break that cycle. So what advice can you give someone who wants to get their finances in order, their credit in order, before they take it to the next level in their lives?
I just say do it. You have to do it. You just have to set your mind towards it and just do it. And don't be afraid to ask for help. I think in our community, the African American community, we are afraid to ask for help or tell people that you might need a little assistance. There are other communities who sit down and work together to come up with a master plan, and everybody is involved in that. But in our community, and this is just in my opinion, we don't want to help each other, or we're afraid to ask for that help. But there are resources that are out there if you want to do it on your own. But I would just say, just go for it. Set your mind towards getting that good credit score. That good credit score leads to nice houses, nice cars, building that generational wealth for your children. And that's all I got. I can go on and on.
Yeah, the worst thing. The worst thing with our community and that kills us a lot is pride. So once we put our pride to the side, we can accomplish a lot, because there's a lot of things that even with me and my wife now, there's stuff that we don't know. I tell everybody, okay, if you want to make $100,000, you need to hang around somebody who's making $100,000 and see how they're doing it. So that's our pride level won't allow us to be like, hey, man, what it is that you do? How can I get involved? You be like, oh, I get it. I ain't got to ask nobody for that. That's just where we at. But if anybody need any help with any of those services, feel free to contact us, and we'll make it happen for you.
Hey, that's what's up right there. And also, Ray, I know with you with the podcast, so let the listener know, where can they view your podcast and what time does it come on?
Okay, so I don't do a live stream, but my episodes are available Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and that's Ray Speaks. Ray Speaks is on Apple, podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, and all of the other major podcast platforms. And that's RAYE Speaks.
Oh, sorry about that. Awesome, too, because your husband sent me a copy of your podcast, and I really enjoyed it. It was really insightful, and it gets you thinking about things, too, and that's what I love about it.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. We got 9 minutes left on the broadcast, so do y'all have any final remarks y'all want to share, anything the Lord placed on y'all heart to share with the listeners this morning before we get off the air?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you for having us on here, especially being from my hometown, Mobile, Alabama. And you know, I just appreciate you giving us some time to come on here and just, you know, spread it with the world on what we're trying to do. And we'll love to collaborate with you as well and try to get some things going in the community and just worldwide. So whenever you're free, we need to talk.
Oh, that'll work. And also, you're a Dallas Cowboy fan, so that's number one. So I respect you.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Boo. Boo.
I'm just saying.
I just want to say thank you for the opportunity as well, and I look forward to more opportunities in working with you and seeing what else that you're going to be doing as well. So everybody that's tuning in, this is a great platform that my good brother is using, and keep supporting.
I do appreciate y'all love, support, and I'm eventually looking forward to meet y'all in person because I finally met the girl I interviewed last week in person. So it's like I'm looking forward to all that soon, very soon. And I want y'all to have a great weekend. Oh, most definitely I will let you do that. I will do that. And y'all have a great weekend. Enjoy the rest of y'all day. I'm about to get to sign off here. And we'll see y'all next time here on Walking This Way Impact Voice. Campbell family, God bless y'all, and I will be in touch very soon.
God bless you. Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.
You are now listening to the most talked about blog talk radio station in the universe. Walking His Way, Impact Voice Radio. Be prepared to have your mind stimulated, your spirit elevated in ways you couldn't even imagine. Introducing your host and the mastermind behind this unforgettable experience, Furman Jackson.